Hey everyone, Sci-Fi Action Movie Reviews here. Today I'm going to be reviewing Season 1, Episode 1 of Lost in Space, The Reluctant Stowaway. Okay, so originally airing September 15, 1965, the story takes place on October 16, 1997 at Cape Kennedy, Florida at a secret government base about ready to launch the Jupiter 2 with the Robinson family. So the US government takes a group of volunteers, the Robinson family, to colonize on a planet they found called Alpha Centauri. But soon we meet Dr. Zachary Smith, played by Jonathan Harris, who goes down to mess with the robot by putting the power pack on him and then programming him to destroy the ship's control after 8 hours. A soldier catches Dr. Zachary Smith in the act and says he's going to have to report him. And Dr. Smith just says okay and then knocks him out and throws him down a waste chute where no one can find him. We cut to Dr. Smith giving his final checkup on the Robinsons family to make sure that they're fit to go into space, which he says are all okay. So they all go back to the Jupiter 2, where they meet the general and a couple scientists who are giving the ship a final checkup because it was having some technical difficulties. Smith soon realizes that the scientists might have messed up his plan, so he goes down to the cockpit where he sees a couple of scientists messing with the robot. So he just stands there saying that he's just checking the place out one more time and waits for them to leave so he can reprogram the robot to destroy the controls. And while Smith is taking his time reprogramming the robot, the Robinsons soon meet their pilot, Major Don West, played by Mark Goddard, who's going to be there in case something's wrong with the ship's navigation. And now that Don and the Robinsons are acquainted, they go into their stasis pod so they can go into suspended animation to enjoy their 5-year voyage. And soon Dr. Smith realizes that he's just screwing around now. He goes back up to the deck and realizes that all the doors are sealed shut. So then he just goes back down to the cockpit so he can go buckle up and enjoy the ride. While everybody in Mission Control are celebrating for the Jupiter 2's launch, Dr. Smith is crying like a little baby. And now that the Jupiter 2 is in space, the nav computer comes down to navigate through the stars. But with the extra weight from Dr. Smith, the computer goes off course, leading the family into a meteor shower. Dr. Smith soon comes back up to the deck so he can go try to contact Mission Control, but he gets mad that no one's hearing him, so he just destroys the comm, which then the ship just starts freaking out, is going everywhere. He falls, and then the meteor shower just doesn't help. It's just knocking everything out of control. He tries to wake up Don, so he gets a gun and shoots a laser at his stasis pod so he can wake him up. Once Don is up, he's a little groggy, but Smith forces him to the ship's control panel to steer the ship. Once Don steers the ship out of the asteroid field, he tries to wake up the Robinsons, but Smith didn't want that, so he aims a gun at him, with Don not realizing, but then he just as soon just goes with it, so he lets the Robinsons get woke up. After all the Robinsons were woken up from stasis, Maureen Robinson, played by Judy Lockhart, passed out because she was somewhat injured, and then Judy Robinson, played by Martin Kristen, yelled, "Mom!" So her husband, John Robinson, played by Guy Williams, catches her, and Dr. Smith runs over to check up on her to give her a diagnosis saying that she's alright. Now that everybody's up, they start to interrogate Dr. Smith saying that he shouldn't be there. His testimony was that he wanted to try to close a valve that he accidentally opened, and then he just got launched up into space. While Don and John are trying to fix the ship's controls, Dr. Smith soon realizes the time and goes down to the cockpit to stop the robot from destroying the ship's controls. Don soon has to turn off the ship's artificial gravity so he can fix the ship's navigation. Dr. Smith, down in the cockpit trying to take the power pack off the robot, soon starts to just float away. Will Robinson, played by Bill Mumy, joined by his sister Penny Robinson, played by Angela Cartwright, are having fun floating around with the artificial gravity turned off. Don soon has to turn it back on so they come back down, while Dr. Smith, still in the cockpit trying to disarm the robot by his power pack, falls straight to the ground with the screwdriver he was using to try to take the power pack off. Will soon goes down to the cockpit where he sees Dr. Smith messing with the robot. He says, "Hey, you can't do that." And Dr. Smith saying, "Oh, my boy, who's the doctor here?" And then he starts to examine Will, saying that there's something wrong with him, saying that he has some type of disease on his tongue, saying that if he stayed in stasis any longer, there would be nothing left except his metal spacesuit. Dr. Smith put Will in quarantine down in the cockpit, but being an idiot going back upstairs, he left the power pack of the robots on the table, where Will just picks it up and puts it in the robot, and then the robot goes back to do his mission to destroy all the controls. The robot soon goes up to the deck to destroy all the controls. Smith says, "I order you to stop, I order you to stop," but the robot says denied and just shocks him. everybody's trying to fight the robot from destroying the controls, and soon Dr. Smith just says, "Take off the power pack! Take off the power pack!" They finally take off the power pack, and the robot finally stops, but after damaging more of the controls. That was pretty much already damaged. Long story short, they realize that the scanner of the ship is broken. They need someone to go out there and fix it. John volunteers to fix it, so he goes outside, but then struggles because there's no gravity in space, so he keeps floating away, but then he gets back onto Jupiter 2, floats away again, struggles to get back onto Jupiter 2, but then pretty much his tether breaks. So he's floating off into space, and everybody's trying to get Dr. Smith to go outside to save John, which he's saying that he's old, his heart can fail at any moment. So John's wife volunteers to shoot him another tether. She goes shoot him another tether, but he's pretty much still floating. We don't know what happens because it says to be continue. Same time, same channel. And that was The Relentless Stowaway. I thought it was pretty good, which didn't start off the 3-season TV series, which this was the first black and white episode. The show was stay black and white until a year later in its second season. I still loved this show very much. I bought like the first season box set to watch every episode of the first season. Like this one, like it just kicks it off right off the bat, like how you would just see a spaceship go into space, like if you were really going to colonize. I find it kind of funny how they say this is a high-tech technology. Then again, it was 1965. They would think anything was high-tech back then. Sort of like how Back to the Future thought how 2015 was going to have flying cars. And then like in Destroy All Monsters, the Godzilla movie, how they thought in the future like having telephones where you see someone's face on a camera was high-end technology. Like I can't really blame them. That's how they thought the world was going to be in the future, which is kind of funny to me. But anyway, I would give this show, like the rating of this episode, probably a 4.5 stars because I loved the whole storyline. I loved how Dr. Smith was supposed to be like a double agent, like he was supposed to work for the U.S. government, but was secretly working for a secret another country like spy so he can sabotage the family, which I think is kind of heartless to try to kill a whole family so he can make his country proud. Anyway, till the next video. See ya. To watch this episode and the rest of the series, you can stream it on YouTube, Amazon Videos, Vudu, Google Play Movies and TV, and iTunes. You can also buy the series and volume packs of the seasons at Walmart, Vintage Stock, and Target. To see more content like this, why don't you subscribe to my channel? And to see the recent video, click right there. And to see a playlist of my 50s to 90s music, click right there.